Hi guys. So I went to the Lush Spa on Tuesday and I thought I'd do a little review for you guys. Now, not many people will probably know that Lush have a spa. So that's kind of why I wanted to take this time and just tell you my thoughts on it. So I've actually had quite a few of the treatments as well. So the treatment that I had on Tuesday was called synesthesia, and it's a full 80-minute massage, and that doesn't really include your consultation that you have before you go in, and it doesn't include like getting changed or anything like that. It is literally, the 80 minutes is just the massage itself. So you can guarantee that you'll probably be there for about just maybe over an hour and a half, that kind of time frame. Because when I came out of the spa, it was just before 3 o'clock, I think, and I didn't think I would get out before 3 o'clock. I thought I would come out afterwards, and I went in at 1 o'clock. Just so you know. So synesthesia is their signature treatment. It's the very first one that they ever brought out, and it's a full body massage. And when you go in, you sit down. It's set out like an English country kitchen, so it's really homely, it's really nice and cozy. You feel quite isolated, you feel like, you know, there's nothing going on around you, which is really cool because it's actually part of the shop. It's just in a different sort of part of it. So some of the spas are upstairs, some are in the basement, which sounds really dodgy, I know. It doesn't look like a basement, but it's just like the ground, you know, below the ground floor. And some of them just have it in the room next door. Honestly, it doesn't feel like there's a world going on around you. It doesn't feel like there's chaos or busyness. It just feels like a really peaceful, tranquil space. So you go in, you sit down, you just answer a few questions that they have. So it's just to do with like if you've got any skin issues or you're taking any medication, things like that, kind of things that a spa would generally need to know before they give you a treatment. And what you do with synesthesia is they've got this big sort of blackboard wall on one side, and it's got lots of different words on there. So some of the words might be like ambition or peace. The last time I went for a synesthesia, I had the word mind cleanser. Basically the idea is you pick out a word on that wall that just sort of really strikes you at that moment, something that you're kind of drawn to. So when I went, I had I picked the word enlightened, because I read through all the words, and that was kind of the one that I went back to, even though I had a different one in mind when I went. I think I had uninhibited when I went, because I was just kind of curious about the word really, and what the massage would be like. But when I sat there and read the words, it was enlightened that I chose. And then what they get you to do is there's loads of tiny little bottles, maybe like 30 of them, just sat on the table in front of you, and they also contain lots of little words. And what they do with that is there's a bottle of essential oils in there, and they put it in like a conical flask almost, with some dry ice, and when they sort of drop the essential oil in there, it kind of smokes and fills the room with the scent, which is really cool. So I picked the word curious, and when I went into the room for my treatment, she let me smell the essential oil that I picked, the curious. They don't tell you what's in there, by the way, so it's just all down to how it makes you feel. And the best way I can describe the smell is I kind of felt a little bit like Alice in Wonderland in Told You Would, looking at a sign with loads of different directions, and I could smell like blackberry bushes next to me. That's how I would describe the words. Sorry, the fragrance from Curious. That's what it made me feel like. It's just quite a nice feeling, really. Then I had my treatment. It was absolutely lovely. She used hot and cold stones on me as well. I got my back massage, legs, back and front, my arms. She did my shoulders, a little bit of a head massage and a facial massage as well. And that's kind of what she ended on, the facial massage. Because I suppose enlightened, you're going to be working from the bottom of the body to the top, because it's all to do with the mind really. But yeah, it was absolutely wonderful. I think I did actually nod off partway through it, because I remember her asking me to turn right, and that she needed me to turn over, and I was like, oh hang on, I was thinking I must have been dreaming. I must have been. So it's cool that you get in such a relaxed state. Then when you come out of your treatment, you get served a little cup of tea, And basically, because the reason why you pick a word from the wall is because each massage bar that goes to that word has a different fragrance to it. So mine, which is enlightened, smelled really fresh and kind of clearing, almost in the way that menthol would clear you. It's that kind of an effect, but it didn't particularly smell like menthol or mint. And if you wanted to pick like my last one, Mind Cleanser, that had a really similar fragrance to it, but I know my mum, when she went for a synesthesia, she picked Energized, and that one was really fresh and citrusy and quite zingy, but you couldn't exactly identify the fragrance that it was, so that was nice. So you get a particular blend of essential oils depending on what word you picked, and then when you come out you actually get tea which has got those oils in it. And I know that sounds a little bit weird, but if you imagine like a chamomile tea, it would be like that. So chamomile tea obviously has chamomile essential oil in there, or the leaves or something, I'm not too sure, but that's kind of the idea behind the tea, that you get something that sort of grounds you in your treatment after you come out. And then what they do, by the way, the tea is lovely, then what happens is they give you a bubble bar, like a solid one. I'll show you what it looks like because they give you this at the end of your treatment. So mine is the specific one for enlightened, and this is what it looks like. It's just a little bubble bar stone. So what you can do is you run this under the bath tap when you're running your bath, and it'll make you bubbles and everything, but you'll get the fragrance from it, so you can kind of continue your treatment at home. But this can be used more than once, so you don't necessarily have to use it all in one bath. And then she also gives you the massage bar, which is this one here, so that's the one that she actually used on me. So yeah, when I smell it, it just smells really fresh and outdoorsy almost. Not in a kind of woody way, but in a kind of, you've gone to, I don't know, look around a place that's like outside, or you've gone for a walk in like a winter morning and it's really frosty and the air is like really fresh and crisp. That's kind of what it reminds me of. Yeah, and then maybe with a touch of menthol, I'm not too sure. But that's the synesthesia. It's a really wonderful treatment. I highly recommend going. So if you ever get a chance, please do check out the treatments, because I'm seriously going to miss them when I move. Now I have heard, just opened up a spa in New York. So if any of you are watching and you live anywhere in the vicinity of New York City, please do check it out, because you can obviously go and get the treatments there yourself, and that has really recently just opened. So if you're a Lush fan, do check it out. Even if it's just like a birthday gift or a Christmas gift, it's a nice opportunity to take a little weekend away and just have a chill out kind of session. So sorry, excuse me. One thing that I should explain, the spa really isn't like normal spas in terms of there isn't a pool, there isn't a sauna or anything like that. There's no restaurant, nothing involved with that. It's literally little English country kitchen kind of setting where you have your consultation, you go in a room, you have your treatment, and then you have a little bit of time afterwards to sort of like come around, and then you leave and you can just do whatever you want for the whole day. So when I came back from my treatment, I remember there was a couple of things that I had to do, completely forgot to do them. I got the train home, I then drove home because I parked at the train station. Probably shouldn't have been driving because I was a little bit spaced out, because that's the kind of effect that you'll find. And some people that I've talked to that have had treatments at the spa, they don't remember going back to the train station and they don't really remember how they got home. So just please remember that it will leave you kind of out of it after the treatment, which is a really cool thing because you're very relaxed. It's not just like they sorted out an achy muscle and now you're good to go. It's nothing like that. It's more about the mind as well as the body. So that's basically synesthesia. I'd highly recommend going. Afterwards, like, I hadn't had a particularly stressful day, I wasn't busy doing anything, I didn't have to do much at all, and I just fell asleep as soon as I got home. I fell asleep in an armchair, like propped up like this, for about half an hour, and my whole arm just went completely dead. It was really, really strange feeling. But it was nice that I was that relaxed and that chilled out, and I think I really needed it at the time, which was cool. So I just want to also mention a couple of the other treatments that I've had, so I may as well do it all in one video because I'm probably not going to have the majority of these treatments again anytime soon, so I may as well do it all in one. So another one that I've had is the Good Hour. That one's quite intensive. I had this one just before Christmas because I do work in retail, so obviously things get a lot busier around Christmas, and I was like, I'm going to be a lot more active, I'm going to be rushing around trying to sort things out, and I needed some sort of tension release in my muscles. And that one is set around being at sea and sea shanties and the hard work that shipmen do, like pulling on the ropes, and I don't know, it's quite a traditional treatment in that sense, not as in like cruise ships that you would find now, as in like old-fashioned wooden ships, that kind of thing. And it's got some traditional sea shanty music as well. By the way, all the music is tailored to the spa treatments, so it's not just some generic chill out music, it's not whale music or anything like that, it's all tailored to the specific treatment that you get. And that one was good because they'll work on the muscle until the knots are released, so it's nice that they do spend that extra bit of time. And again, that one is a full body massage. That one's an hour long, maybe just a little bit over depending on how knotty your muscles are and how long they have to work on them. But you can actually get a half-hour version of the treatment, which is still a really great experience. I've not specifically booked this one, but this one's called the Tailor Made, and it's half the price, it's £40, whereas Good Hour's £80. But that one is where you can go in and basically choose an area that you need working on, so whether it's your shoulders, your back, your legs, anything like that, and they'll work on that specific area for you. But when you, before you go in or as you go in, what they do, they get one of their bath bombs. It's called a Big Blue. It's blue with a little white top, and it's got seaweed and sea salt in there, and they put it in a bowl with some dry ice and some warm water, and put it underneath your massage bed, and you get this smoky effect coming out from underneath the bed, so it kind of feels like you're on a ship at sea and it's like foggy or misty. So that's kind of cool, really. It's a nice effect. And when you come out, you get a little cup of tea, and they also give you a little bottle of rum and some shortbread biscuits, so you can put a little bit of rum in your tea and have dunk your biscuit in there, which is a really nice touch as well. Now, you don't get anything to take home with you after this treatment, I think. I think they may actually give you the massage bar that they used on you. I did. I got what was mine called? Therapy. There was a choice between one called Wiki Magic Muscles, Hottie and Therapy, so I chose Therapy because I really like the smell of it. So every time I go into Lush now and I smell Therapy or use it, that's the treatment that it reminds me of, which is really cool that you can buy it in the shop as well. So yeah, the Good Hour is great if you really need that tension release in your muscles. Then the other one that I've had is the Spell. Now, please bear in mind, this is over a span of like the last 2 years that I've had these treatments, so I'm kind of going by some long-term memory here. But the Spell is essentially a foot treatment, so you can stay fully dressed. You just need to roll up your trouser legs if you're wearing trousers, or if you're wearing tights, you just need to take them off so that they can get at your feet and sort of the bottom bit of your leg as well. Now this one is kind of directed at any problems or worries or anxieties that you may have in your life at the moment. So for me, there was something that was constantly on my mind and I couldn't get rid of it because there was nothing I could do about it. It was just something that I just kept worrying about. So what you do is when you go in for your treatment, you write down that worry on a little piece of flash paper and they burn it in a copper kettle, and it's kind of like a quick puff and it's gone, and then you go in for your treatment, which I think is a really nice touch because it kind of focuses on that particular problem. And then you go in for your treatment, they give you a really nice sort of foot soak, a scrub. They put a foot mask on you, so while the foot mask is setting and doing its work, they sort of do this like padding motion, almost like a cat sort of does that on your body, all the way up your legs and your arms. They do that, and then they give you a really nice head massage, and then they go back to your feet, wash your feet again, and then they put some moisturizer on and just give it a really lovely massage. So it's almost like reflexology. And then when you come out of your treatment, they actually give you like a little tag which has got a saying on it. I do have the tag somewhere because I kind of use it as a bookmark. What I did, I put, because there's a hole at the end, I put a little ribbon through it and I use it as a bookmark so that every time I read a book I can be reminded of my treatment and not to worry so much. So that was cool. It kind of got that worry off my mind a little bit. It's still something that bothers me, but the treatment kind of taught me not to focus on it too much. So that is definitely a treatment I would recommend for anyone that has a couple of issues that they need to try and move past. It's £55, I believe. I think that's how much it is. Again, I'm going by memory, but I will link everything below for you as well so that you can check it out on the website. And oh, they also have YouTube videos on the website too, so that'll give you a really good idea of what to expect. And it's an hour long, that one as well. Then my favourite one would probably be sound bath. Favourite to this moment. This one is also an hour long, and this one's £65. This one you also don't get undressed for, because they don't really do that much in terms of body massage. This one is more of a holistic treatment in that it focuses on your mind. And before you go in, you get a little wooden box and you open it up, and inside there's some like there's some moss and dry ice, so it smokes when you open the box up, and there's a little eat me and drink me, a bit like in Alice in Wonderland, which is really cool. I'm not too sure what the drink me is, but the eat me is like chocolate. It's like pure chocolate with no additives, and it's got like a little coconut shaving of the stalk, the mushroom, which so it looks like a little mushroom. It's really, really cute. And so you have your eat me, drink me, then you go in for your treatment, and again it's all based around sound. So it's kind of like you're outside and there's birds chirping. That's kind of the beginning of it, and then you'll hear like rain kind of noises, and there'll be Tibetan singing bowls in there, and all sorts of stuff. And it's really cool because it's all using music, so it's the sound of yeah, it's just sound. It's sound therapy basically. And that one is mainly a facial massage and a head massage. And that one, apparently, well, I talked to the girl after I came out of my treatment, and she told me that originally they wanted to call it the trip because it's a bit like you're tripping. If you don't know what that means, maybe look it up. I don't really want to explain on YouTube. But it was really cool because I randomly thought I'd had a really busy day. I'd had maybe 2 or 3 appointments that I had to get to before my spa appointment. And I remember halfway through the treatment thinking, I really hope she hurries up. I need to be somewhere. And then I was like, no, I don't. I've got nothing to do for the rest of the day. I can just chill out. And it's not something that was major, but it does make you think like that. I genuinely believed at that point that I had to be somewhere and that I needed her to hurry up and finish. So I can see why they wanted to call it the trip, because you start having some slightly random thoughts. But you come out and they give you a little drink in a Tibetan singing bowl, and they tell you what they're putting in it. I can't remember what ingredients they use. And then they sort of tap it and do a little swirly thing around the sides. I'm not too sure what it's called. And then you can drink it, and that's really cool, and that's kind of like a grounding drink. I don't know what they called the first, like the eat me, drink me. I can't remember, because like one's obviously a grounding drink and the other one is something else. I'm not too sure what that one is. But I remember the reason why it's my favourite is because I'd had a month of having quite sharp headaches sort of every day, and my eye had actually started to twitch, and I went to the doctor's earlier that day, and she basically said that I was suffering from cluster headaches and prescribed me some medication. So when I went for my treatment, I just made them aware of this, and they said, that's fine, you'll probably find it gets a little bit worse before it gets better, but you'll probably find that the treatment helps. And in the week that followed, everything, like, I got the headaches less and less, and my eyes stopped twitching as much, and then at least like a couple of weeks later it pretty much gone, which was really cool. So I didn't actually need to take that medication. That was really nice, mainly because the headaches were caused by stress. So the treatment helped me to sort of relieve some stress and then cleared the headaches as well, which was cool. But the reason why it's my favourite is because for 3 days afterwards, especially when I came out of my treatment, I was just kind of walking around the city centre, kind of feeling really light and airy, as if I was walking on clouds, and kind of going, ah. It was so nice. It was really nice. It's a really kind of cheerful treatment. They've warned people before that you either feel really happy and giddy, which is what I felt, or you feel quite emotional, quite sort of teary. So I was kind of glad that I felt giddy, but in a way, if you feel quite teary, it's probably a good thing, because maybe you needed to release that emotion. So yeah, that's kind of why it's my favourite treatment, because the effect lasted so long, and because I felt so giddy and cheerful and really lightheaded almost, and it just made my whole day turn around. Like, I didn't feel like I'd been stressed in the morning at all, or even for the past month. It was amazing. So I highly recommend the sound bath. That's one of my favourite treatments. And then I've just got one more to come. There's another one called Validation, which is a facial. I don't really know much about that, so I won't review that for you. I kind of get an idea of what goes off in the treatment, and from what I've been told, people have felt really happy and really confident when they've come out. But I won't really go into that because I've not experienced it myself. But the one that I've got to come yet is the one called the Comforter, and that's quite a nostalgic one. Apparently you walk into the room and there's pink starlight, and there's like rose scented bubbles floating around the room halfway through your treatment, and you get a chocolate body scrub all over, and then a rose scented serum afterwards. So I'm really excited about that one. That one's coming up in February. It was actually something I bought for me and my mum, not this Christmas that's just gotten, but the one before, and as soon as I'm moving soon, I thought, well, I better get it booked, because otherwise we're not going to be able to have it. So thankfully it's all booked now, and I can get to enjoy that. So I'll probably do an updated post, or I can do you guys a video, whichever you prefer, on my thoughts of that. But yeah, that's basically it. Definitely check out the videos on their website and have a little think about what treatment would be best suited for you. But I highly recommend it. I think it's totally worth it. If you think, oh well, I can get a quick hour's treatment for like 30 quid down the road, that's fine. I hope you enjoy it, but it will be nothing in terms of the same kind of experience, because the Lush spa is very individualised, and it's very focused on yourself and your mind, and not just your body. So definitely at least consider it, and just go in and talk to the guys at Lush, because they are amazing. They're so passionate about the spa. Every time I go in, and they're just like, oh my god, the spa, and they kind of crowd around you and just really want to talk to you about it, because they love it so much. So it's really nice. So definitely pop into a store and ask them about it, and if you ask, they'll even play the music that you get in the spa treatments as well, because you can buy the CDs in all the shops. So if you're not sure, you can always at least buy the music and just have a little relax at home with some candles and a nice bathtub session. So yeah, I hope you liked my review. Definitely check it out. Feel free to leave your comments below, or questions that you might have about the spa, because I've been for so many treatments, I may be able to answer them, but if not, I'll definitely direct you in the right place. Okay, thanks guys for watching. Bye.